Good evening, Dr. Bodhi.
Good evening to you. Thank you.
Good to see you again. Thank you.
Hmm?
Glad to see you again and fancy you are well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm all right. When I say all right, I don't know. It's
Mhm.
for the time being, I'm all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
that's all right. Okay, we go straight to the point where we were talking about yesterday. I
Yeah.
sent you the new one. It gives you the page 50 something. Doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
if you got the previous one, doesn't matter. You go to the appropriate page, which is 39 or 38, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mahamangala Sutra is the one we are looking at. Now, yesterday we were looking at the first verse and the last verse. First and the last verse, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
First and the last verse.
Yeah, I have downloaded the new one. The
That's all right. Yeah.
page,
We'll
please.
go to the first verse of Mahamangala Sutra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mahamangala Sutra, the first verse. And we
this
are
was
still going
so
from
which
1 to
which page, please?
this
30,
one is 50, I think 50, 53 or something like
53,
that. 53 or no, 50, no, 52, 52.
52. Okay, here it
Oh,
is.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
52. That's the
here
one.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. So,
Right.
okay, the first one is the question. I have control myself to that extent. Okay, with a
Mm-hmm.
great, with a great difficulty, I control myself to achieve the nibbana or the full calmness, full peacefulness, total peacefulness, in other words. So I tried my best to control myself, but that controlling power make me to think about what I have achieved, and all of a sudden this particular self-pride or sort of, proudness came to my system.
Yes.
And so that can stop the journey towards the Nibbana, because when you say Nibbana, it is full, uh, what you call neutrality. So you have to be neutral. So you
Yeah,
can't be on to
neutrality.
this side or that side.
Mm.
So that is called no expectations, no
Yeah.
containment in the system. Until that happens, people can't move to the highest level of life. Now the question is why we need to go to the highest level. Okay, somebody can ask that question. What is the reason why I want to go to the highest level? Now
Mm.
there are so many reasons for that. If a
Yes,
person
the
is
10 defilements. 10
hmm,
defilements. Because of the 10 defilements, the fetus,
say it
10
again.
fetus, 10 defilements.
Yes,
Because
self,
of the, such as the self pride and something like that, the 10
yes, self pride. But have you now people are trying to achieve nibbana? Why people would like to go to that level? I mean, that's not going. The state of mind or the state of the system goes to that level. So why people would like to attain nibbana? Now,
Oh, that's the question.
my question is, did Prince Siddhartha went to achieve the nibbana? Then he would have known what nibbana is beforehand.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
Nibbana is It's peaceful. I think it's tranquility. Yeah, the
Yeah,
state of
tranquility, but
tranquility.
we can have all these terms. But my question is,
Mm-hmm.
did Prince Siddhartha actually went to achieve the tranquility or serenity or the Nibbana? I don't think so. I think what he was trying to achieve was he was trying to find the answers to the questions came to his mind. For example, why I came to this world and where I am going to go after this.
Yes,
What am
yes.
I doing here? Why I am doing this and that? Why I am suffering? Am I suffering or not? So these are the
Ah, yes,
questions came to his mind.
yes,
And he was trying to figure out the answers to these questions by himself.
yeah.
And at the beginning, he went to these five ascetics to get the help, and found that they are not helping much. So he went in his own way to figure
Mm,
out what's happening to this system. So he analyzed the system, how the system works with the outside world. That's the analysis Buddha did. I would say
yeah.
rather the Prince Siddhartha did before becoming the Buddha. So
Yes.
now entire his entire research work is based on how the system works with the outside world. If, if you look at the sutras, most of the sutras, mainly the sutras like, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, which is the first sutra Buddha delivered. Then, if you look at the other sutras, like, Karaniyamettha Sutra, Mahamangala Sutra, uh, then Ratana Sutra, then the uh, Satipatthana Sutra, Mahasatipatthana Sutra. Then there is another one called Dajagga Sutra, Sangha Sobenti Sutra. So there are so many sutras. I just mentioned a few. Now, every sutra, what Buddha has said is exactly what Buddha has experienced. And Buddha, everything based on his experience. So he has not said anything against what he has experienced. He never gave some, fake ideas to the people. Through
No,
his
never.
system, never. Through his system, what he achieved was given to the world. So he said, one time Buddha said, when I was uh, a layman, like, Prince Siddhartha,
Mm-hmm.
you won't believe how much happiness I got in the palace. You can't believe, Buddha says. So I got so much of happiness, 40,000 people were there to help me. 40,000 in the
In
palace.
the palace. Yeah, okay.
Yes. So that much of what you call, support given from the other people. But when Siddhartha gave away all these things. Now there is another question. Some people, when I met one of my doctors, the
Hmm.
doctor's two sons were blaming Prince Siddhartha and said why he left the wife and the son. That
Mm.
is not right. That is what the doctor's two sons were telling me. Then,
Mm.
then that doctor said, Bodhi, can you help me to explain this to them? So I gave the reason, and apparently they agreed. Because when it comes to a situation where when a person sees the real truth, no matter what, that person will take the right decision. When you are taking the right decision, that particular term is prajna. Prajna means taking the right decision. Prajna.
Ah,
Prajna means taking the right decisions for what? For calmness, to go along the path towards calmness, full calmness. So that is what is called prajna. Now people can take the right decisions to go along different path to earn money, build a big house. These are also decisions. But those decisions are temporary decisions that won't give finally that won't give you the full calmness to your system.
no.
So prajna is a different term Buddha used. Panya. Some people say panya. Buddha's term is panya. We can say panya. That is the noble intellectuality, or you can say it is the normal, nobles, not normal, noble, you know, knowledge or the intellectuality. So that is called the panya. Panya. Buddha's term is panya. So panya, once a person gets the panya, uh, no matter who says that decision is taken, that person will go along that path for, you know, towards the bliss of nibbana or whatever you call, or the full, safe, full calmness. So just I said these things just to give an idea about these sutras, how beautiful these sutras are. Anyway, now coming back to this one, if you are not, if you find it very hard to remember these Magadhi words, just follow the meaning first, I would say.
Okay.
Follow
Okay.
the
Follow
meaning
the
first,
meaning.
forget about the terms for the time being. Then you can bring the terms to your system little by little.
All right.
Otherwise, yeah, otherwise you might get confused if you look at the meanings of the sutra as well as the meanings of the Magadhi terms. Okay,
Okay.
so let us look at the real meaning of this sutra and then try to figure out how this was presented by the Buddha with those terms. What terms Buddha used in Magadhi language? Why Buddha used those words? And why Buddha explained this particular thing in this manner? So we have to analyze these things to get a broader idea about the teachings of the Buddha in this particular sutra. To get a good understanding is important. So if you can understand this particular sutra, the next sutra is much easier to understand because there is not a much of difference between the sutras. Is giving the same message to achieve what we are trying to achieve, that is calmness. So stop me if you can't follow me, please stop me. All right.
I can follow you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you can't, just stop me and ask questions. I like the questions. All right. Now, this one is, it says unknown person came to Buddha and raised this question. So the first one says, this was written in the book. It came from word to word. That's why in the very first part it says, I heard. That means somebody heard this particular thing and went on explaining the sutra or by hearting the sutra and said, this is what I heard. So later, people try to figure out what it is. So let us look at the first verse again. Bahudeva Manussacha doesn't matter the words, Mangalan, if you can remember, why not? Remember that. Bahudeva Manussacha Mangalani Achintayung Akanka Mana Sottanang Bruhi Mangalamuttama. Buddha, I got stuck due to my self pride about my achievement. When I go along this path to attain what I was trying to attain, how can I, yeah, how can I, control myself uh, to the extent? beyond what I have to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Now he has control. Deva is control. Now, yesterday you asked a question about Deva. Yes, I agree. When I was a small child, I was told Deva is, is the person who is very at a higher level. They are living in a different, galaxies and things like that. But you know, that is how we were taught. But when we try to figure out the meaning of these sutras, we found that Deva is a person who has controlled himself very well. So there can be people in the galaxies or different parts of the universe.
Mm.
They may be control themselves. We don't know. So that may be the reason why they were called Deva. But I don't
Yes.
know whether they are living or not. So I
Yeah.
can't, I'm not telling they are not living. I'm not telling they are living. So I can't
Yeah.
say they are there or not. So whether they are there or not, what we really need is to understand what Buddha said and go along that path. So when we
Mm-hmm.
are going along this path, we don't have to worry about where the devas are.
Mm. Yeah.
They can be there or not, doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah, and yeah, in other sutras,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in the
They
Mahayana
can be,
sutras, it
yeah,
can be
yes.
called the heaven, the person in the heaven. They
Yeah,
were.
they can. Yes, spirits. They say spirits and deva is
Ah.
higher level. All sort of things are there in the books, they have written. But some people accept, some people reject. But it doesn't
Mm.
matter.
Yeah.
As far
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, I'm not against anybody's believing something. That is up to them because it's a
Mm.
free world. Anybody can believe whatever they like.
Mm.
Anybody can, disbelieve whatever they like. So that's up to
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell here is what I have understood through this particular sutra, so that you can. I'm not telling anybody to accept what I'm telling, but
Yeah.
just to go through this several times and see whether it makes sense. If it
Yeah.
if it makes sense, then you have to agree. If you agree to yourself, then eventually you accept that. So allow the system to accept rather than allowing somebody to force you to accept. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
allow, don't allow others to force you to accept anything. So you try to experience that by yourself. That is what
Yeah.
Buddha said. Buddha said you experience what I am talking about and then try to figure out whether it's right or wrong. Because Buddha's teachings are what you call not challengeable. It's not challengeable. The reason is why it is working with your system. It is not coming from somewhere else. It tells you whether it's right or wrong from your system. It's called atakka vachara. That is the term used. I don't know whether you have heard about that. It's a
No.
Bengali term.
Yes.
Atakka vachara. Atakka vachara means no one can argue Buddha's teachings because it is working with the system of
Sister.
that person,
Oh.
him or herself. So it
Oh, yeah.
works with the system, so you can't argue because if I say, if I touch this, my fingers get burned, then I don't have to ask somebody else because I know when I touch that it burns. If there's a flame of fire, if I touch, yes, it will hurt myself. So it's not necessary to ask anybody whether it will hurt yourself or not. It's something like that
Yeah.
in simple
Yeah.
terms. So it's through experience you agree or disagree. Anyway, so these are good starting point. So asevanacha balanang panditanancha sevana, the next one says, but before that, Okay, look at this first one. Bahudeva Manussacha. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the first verse. I have done so much. It's like, coming and telling, I have done so much to, uh, pass this exam, but I failed. I did, all my studies, but still I couldn't pass this exam, something like that. Something like that, this person is coming to us, Buddha, and saying, I did all the hard work for me to getting to this level, but that self pride is troubling me. How can I get rid of that or overcome that self pride? What is the strategy? What is the method for me to get rid of that? Then the Buddha telling, little by little, we'll go to the second one. Buddha is telling the very first thing. Okay, second one is asevanacha balana. That's the next one. So Buddha says, don't associate with actions which are hurting you. Now, this is the action is associating with. What is the action? Uh, the self pride is what is he's associating with. So, right at the beginning, Buddha says, don't associate anything that hurts you. Now, when that particular answer is given, one might ask why Buddha said that right at the beginning. Why Buddha said something? Why didn't Buddha say something else other than this one? Why Buddha said not to associate with things which are hurting? Because Buddha realized, so we had to analyze. Buddha realized if this person is going to go along that self pride, continuously, Buddha sees the consequences. Buddha sees what will happen to this person. Buddha has the uh, experience to see where he is going to end up at with the self pride. Now, what is self pride is mana. Mana is self pride. So, where the mana comes? Mana Uddacha Avidya. We studied that in 10 fetters. 10 fetters, we studied that.
Yeah.
Mana Uddacha Avidya. So,
Mm.
this Buddha realized that if I allow this person to go along that path, he will end up with, all sort of problems, enormous sufferings. So that is why Buddha said, don't associate with unwholesome actions. So the very first part we study is Dasa Papa Kriya or 10 unwholesome actions. So
Mm.
unwholesome actions are starting from Kama, Tanha, Rati, Raga, Lobha, Desha, Moha, Maccharya, Krodha, Vaira. So those are the 10 unwholesome actions. If I don't use the terms of the mother language, it says if a person is associating with the things which hurts that person, so that person would end up with all sort of problems, holding the world, getting unnecessary problems with others, arguments, all sort of things could happen. But this person who has control himself is living with a lot of pride. And if somebody comes and tells, you are going along the wrong path and this, that, there can be conflicts among them, then that person eventually can go along this kama tanna because kama is attached to what he is thinking, right? Up to this
Yes.
particular point, he was thinking that that particular pride is okay, but it is not okay. That's the karma. Karma is, like something, liking or disliking, attached to
It's
something
like,
we like or dislike. That is karma. So he is full, he's living with karma, a lot of karma there. So the path is very clear. If somebody is living with kama tanna, rati raga, lobha desama matya, then finally retaliation. So there can be so lot of things could happen, uh, as you can imagine, to this person if he's going to live with that karma or that thought. Clear?
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. So then Buddha said, try to associate with things that doesn't hurt you. But I don't know whether, because this sutra says only that, nothing
Mm.
is written here, unless we can go to the Buddha and ask, did you say something more than that? Unfortunately, Buddha is not here. So we can't ask Buddha whether Buddha explained, whether that person asks a question, what are Papa, Dhamma, or unwholesome actions? Tell me, please. Then Buddha would have explained them then and there. But we don't know. Maybe. Who knows? So then this sutra is going to be longer than this, isn't it? Much, much longer than that.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yes.
So there are so many things that we don't know. So Buddha may have said, explained all the things that we discussed, the 10 unwholesome actions, 5 hindrances, fetters, the Paticca Samuppada, everything may have been explained by the Buddha to this person. We don't know, which we can't, find out now. But we have got only this verse to figure out what Buddha said. Rest is, not there because it's a discussion, sort of a discussion, Buddha and this person. So asevanacha balanam panditanancha sevana. Sevana means, associate. Sevana. Sevana is associate. Then pujacha puja niyana. That's an important thing. What it says is, now see, we we normally go and worship when we see somebody who is at a higher level than us, very calm person, or Buddhas, Arahants, we like to worship them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, Buddha here says puja means, it's called puja. Buddha is asking to worship or respect or admire not anybody else, to admire and worship by himself. So, Buddha asks him to worship to him, not to anybody else. When that person is going along that path, but Buddha said, when that person is not associating with, unwholesome actions, then to boost the morale of that person, Buddha says, you better worship yourself. Can you understand that?
Mm.
So you appreciate yourself, you admire yourself, you worship yourself. Don't try to worship others because your system is helping you. So you better worship yourself. You better respect yourself because your system is helping you to get over this problem. That is called puja cha puja niyana. That's the real meaning. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
So instead of getting a pride, instead of getting a pride, having a pride, don't try to, having a pride here, try to respect yourself for the support given by yourself to achieve what you are trying to achieve. Make sense?
Yeah.
I believe you can understand what I said.
Yes, yes. Because the system is so complete and it can get you to overcome the self pride, something like that. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, having a confidence in yourself. So
Yeah.
if you have got a confidence in yourself, you respect yourself, you say to yourself, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that, no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's puja cha pujaniyana.
Puja, puja, puja,
Puja cha pujaniyana. So you can remember that part because that's so important. You respect yourself by
puja,
you.
puja, yeah.
You don't have to allow others to respect you. Whether others respect you or not doesn't matter. As long as you respect you, as long as
Yeah.
you know who you are, as long as you know you are a good person. You don't have to
Yeah.
tell the world. The world doesn't have to tell you that you are a good person, but you know that. So that is what the Buddha's advice is. You respect yourself. Puja cha pujaniyanam etam mangalam uttamam. That is the great achievement that you can achieve. That is the great level that you can achieve. Etam Mangala, there is no any other thing. So, Etam Mangala Muttama. I'm just using my own words instead of going through what is written here. Okay? So,
Yeah.
Asevana cha balanam, panditanam cha sevana, don't associate with things that hurts you. Don't associate with things that, make you embarrassed. Associate with the things make you calm, peaceful. Panditanam cha sevana. Always try to figure out those things. For that, you don't have to go and ask anybody. You know what to do. That's the advice, very first point Buddha asks this person to do. Why? Because he's in a some sort of a mess by being with the pride, being with the pride, and he's thinking, I'm at this level, so others should respect me. All sort of things are coming to his mind. So the direction is changed by the Buddha. No point asking others to uh, make you happy. It is better for you to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
If you are happy with yourself, then things will come from others, whether you like it or not. Because if you have no expectation, you never expect others to respect you. No expectations. So no expectation is serenity. So Buddha is breaking that particular barrier as well, because he may be thinking, I have achieved so much, I'm at this level, people should respect me. There's a barrier that has to be broken, otherwise he can't go along this path. So that may be another reason why Buddha said this. Now see, there are so many reasons for this. People can come from different angles and analyze. I'm just explaining how to analyze this and remember instead of
Mm.
just by heart. No, by hearting, I don't agree with by hearting things. Just go on memorizing. No, not memorizing, analyzing. Analyzing is much better so that you can remember.
Mm-hmm.
If I memorize this, I have to think and say, where I stopped, I have to go there and I can. No, no, that's not good. In Buddha's teachings, you have to analyze and remember. Analyze, when you analyze, it's easy to remember. If you memorize, if the memory gone, you can't bring it back. Hard.
Yes.
Thinking, if it doesn't come out, then you are in trouble. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good point here. Asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevana puja cha pujaniyanam etam mangalam. That means don't associate with if you go into very deep this particular thing more and more, don't associate with hurting thoughts, the thoughts that hurts you. Don't associate with the thoughts that hurt you or hurts you. So thoughts are hurting, but it doesn't mean that, associate with the thoughts will make you calm. There's no such thing because thoughts are hurtful elements. So if somebody translate this and say, you know, you better don't associate with bad thoughts, associate with good thoughts. No, there are no good thoughts in the world, according to Buddha. So that's a wrong statement. So you have to say, don't associate with bad thoughts because thoughts are always bad. You can say, don't associate with thoughts, hurts you. You associate with concepts, ideas, which helps you to bring the calm to the system, peacefulness to the system. That is
Exactly.
how that is how you should translate this. Because if you use the term thoughts, Buddha says thoughts are hurtful sources. They are hurtful sources. If you touch thoughts, that will bring you hurtful results.
Yes.
Thoughts are always like that. No, there are no good thoughts, but people say, I had a good thought. No, there's no good thought. According to
No.
Buddha's teaching. But in your day-to-day living with others, don't claim these things. Then they might think we are in a different plane. Okay? So
Yeah, yeah.
thoughts are, people treat them, feed them thoughts in a different manner. Anyway, but they say, the good old memories and all sort of things, there are no such things. Anyway, because they are fake, as we learn. So I'm just putting here and there the points, but you have to make sure you separate them and take the right one at the right place. All right?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
I agree.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's all right. Now,
Especially, yeah, the
because when you are with a
notice.
gathering where people are in different, different moods and different, different beliefs when they have. So
Yes.
people with different beliefs. So if you go and jump there and say, this is what Buddha said, no, they don't want to accept. So no, no.
Others think you're crazy.
Yes, they might think we are crazy. Okay. So
Yeah.
okay, go to the next one. So I'm just touching. We'll come back to these things again and again. So go to the
Okay.
third one, please.
Third one. Okay.
Third one. So Buddha says, don't associate with thoughts, associate with good concepts. Okay. So
Yes.
respect yourself rather than respecting others. Worship yourself by to your achievements. About your achievements, you worship yourself. That's what that says. Uh, Asevanacha balanam, panditanacha sevana, pujacha pujaniyanam. So it's better to remember that part. Pujacha pujaniyanam. Puja means you you worship, you respect puja to yourself for your achievements. That is what puja means. So with that point, we'll come to this one. Buddha is warning this person now. While you are doing that, be careful because you are attached to upadana rupa,
Mhm.
pati rupa desa vasocha. You are living in a what do you call, it's the best term, you are living in an environment which
Mm,
has got lot of rupa.
mm. Yeah.
You are living in an environment where you have got a lot of rupa, upadana rupa in your internal system. Outside you have got vastu rupa, or the rupa of the other things and the people and various things,
Yes.
situations. So
Yes.
remember that
Situation.
you are in a dome of rupa, or in an environment of rupa. So don't try to attach to this rupa too much, then you are getting hurt by them. That is what has happened to you with this self pride. Self pride is nothing but attaching onto a rupa. Upadana rupa is repetitively going through your system. That is called raga. Raga is repetitively going through your system. I'm bringing the things that we studied. Raga. So kama, tanna, rati, raga. So it's going through your system all the time. I'm a person who has control myself, you know, I'm proud of that, this, that, all sort of things are coming to the system because it's repetitively thinking about the achievement, and that without respecting the achievement, because if some achievement is hurting you, you can't respect. If some
Yeah.
achievement is hurting you, you can't respect that because you don't know, you want to get rid of that. So
Yeah.
Buddha is asked to, respect the, things that hurts you. Buddha is asking to respect yourself for the achievement which is make you calm fully. You are with me? Can you understand? I'm
Yeah.
going story.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
can.
a
I
story.
can
It's like
follow
a story I'm talking about. A story. So it's Patirupa Desa Vasocha. So we are living, everybody in this world is living in an environment where it's full of rupa. Now, rupa, I'll give you some more information about this rupa because at the beginning I didn't tell you all these things is too much for a
you.
person to grasp or absorb. So what I think is to explain few things why Buddha said about this rupa, what the rupa is bringing into your system. So carefully listen to this point. This is very important. That the rupa is coming through what? When the light rays, when the light is there, the rupa comes through the light
I.
as waves. They are coming as
Mm,
waves
mm.
into your
Wait.
eyes. Sound waves. You have heard about sound waves. You studied
Yeah.
in your school. The sound waves. Sound is coming in waves.
Mm.
So the light is coming in waves, light waves, sound waves, you name, everything is coming in, waves.
Yeah.
So the waves are coming through the light, the rupa, most of the time. What are they bringing? The light is bringing the fire. That's what Buddha says, which we can't, we won't, realize. We won't realize that. It is bringing some sort of fire. Light is bringing fire. So all the rupa are not only sources of rupa, they are sources of fire,
Mm.
Buddha says. So that's hurtful. So when the rupa comes, when it hits our eyes, so eye and the rupa get together. The eye and the rupa get together and produce a fireball in the interior. That is how Buddha look at it.
Babble, what does mean?
Fireball,
Babble, what
ball
does
of
it?
fire. It's a ball of fire.
Ah.
Because race is fire.
Mm-hmm.
When it hits the ice,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a fire. So fireball is the upadana rupa. So
Yeah.
Buddha gave an example of it's compared to a fireball.
One, two. Yes, yes.
A ball of fire is the upadana rupa. So we are dealing with fireballs, which is very
Babble.
dangerous. That's why we are hurting. We are, then we cry. We, all sort of things. When something happens, we hurt ourselves. We blame others. We have conflicts. All those things, all fire. That is
Crazy.
fire. We are we are putting petrol into the fire.
Okay.
That's what Buddha says. That's quite interesting, you know. So
Yes.
Buddha is asking us to just sit and think what you are accepting and absorbing.
Mm-hmm.
Saying this is I'm happy with this, that, but you are happy with what? You are happy with fireballs. That's what Buddha says. So this message is given to the this message is given to the that person who is control himself to think over about what is attached to. It's attached to a fireball. It's always firing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at the question, this is the answer. So these Buddha's answers, one after the other. So he
Mm.
said, don't touch the hurtful thoughts, touch the good concepts, and respect yourself, worship yourself by you. Don't allow others to respect you. Then the mana goes up. Then mana uddacha avidya, you end up with avidya. But don't do that. That's what Buddha said in the previous verse. Now, in this verse, Buddha says you are dealing with fireballs which are
Mm-hmm.
coming from outside. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha, I don't think you have heard about these things from any person or any book earlier. Didn't you?
mm.
Yeah, because Buddha says all these things they are in the sutras. But you have to get these things, one after the other. Anyway,
Mm.
Pubbeta kata punyata. Pubbeta kata punyata. So control yourself. So discuss with yourself. Kata means it. You discuss these things with you to figure out
Ah.
whether it's right or wrong. Buddha is giving full freedom to that person to think over and over about again about what Buddha says. Ubbecha kata punyata. So you have to discuss with yourself about the speech that you get through these things. The fire is the hurtful situation. Fire means, we normally say it's fire, but Buddha was trying to tell here is fireball means it's hurting you. It's hurting you. That's what the real meaning Buddha was trying to convey. So, ubbeta kata punyata. So that means you try to, as I written here, the speed is there, level of speeds are there, utilizing the noble intellectuality. So to analyze these things which had already been gained to ample extent in the past. So you bring your all experiences to analyze what I'm talking about. That's what it says. I have not written that by controlling the own system. So bring your all the experience to look at what I'm talking about to control yourself more and more. That is what is written there. So if somebody is reading, must understand along those lines. I have not written what I'm talking about, but yeah, maybe next book, the next edition, I had to write more. But I don't know whether I don't, I don't know whether I got that much of strength to write all these things.
You have, yeah, you have intelligence.
Thank you. So Atta Samma Panidita. That's a good one, like the earlier one. Earlier one said, Puja cha puja niyanam. Third point is Puja cha puja. You respect yourself in the previous one. In this one, it says Atta Samma Panidita. Atta means total calmness. Atta is total calmness. Anatta is right opposite of calmness. Atta and anatta, these are the two words used by the Buddha. Atta, samma, panidita. It's truthfully you are going to get, by going along this path, we can reassure you, you are going to get calmness. Panidita is, it is so, if I directly translate that, panidita is very tasteful. It's very tasteful, but it is, we can't say it's a, it's not a object to taste or something to taste, but you get a good feeling to your system. Atta samma panidita. It's a
Mm.
rewarding situation. It's sort of a rewarding situation. You get a
Okay.
reward. It's like
Yes.
if somebody is rewarding you award, you are getting an award by yourself. Who is rewarding? Yourself, not somebody else. So you are rewarding yourself with award. What is the award? Award is to become a sangha. If your system is allowing you to get a reward like sangha, with all qualities of sangha, it's a big reward. It's a big
Mhm.
reward.
Yeah.
So atta samma, that reward is making you all the time calmful. Atta samma, it's truthfully you are getting a reward which makes you calm. Buddha is trying to boost the morale of that person
Mhm.
to go along this path. That is the strategy Buddha used by
Mm.
saying this. Boost the morale by asking him to experience Pubbeta Kata Punyata. When you say Pubbeta Kata Punyata is, Buddha is always asking to discuss with yourself what you are doing.
Mm.
Not with others, not with others, with yourself. So that's why I said, it's better to look at this sutra and when you go to bed, discuss with yourself at least one verse, at least one. If you can't remember all, at least one verse, at least the question raised by that person, the first part of the answer, second part of the answer, things like that. At least one. Is remembering makes you very calm. Now look at this. There are, Rupa is coming from the outside world. There are two options, whether to catch them and burn yourself or just ignore and make you calm. That's what Buddha is telling here, in essence. So don't try to catch them because they are burning and it will burn you as well instead of making you calm. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Again, it says Etam Mangala Muttamangi. Every term, Buddha says Etam Mangala Muttamangi. That part is common to every term. Look at the previous part. Etam Mangala Muttamang. Then the next part, Etam Mangala Muttamang. Etam Mangala Muttamang is, there is no any other superior
Ah.
superior reward that a person
Ah.
could achieve in this life. Etam
Ah.
Mangala Muttamang is, you know, Etam Mangala Muttamang, because you look at the question, please. Go to the question now. Question, please. I hope I'm not troubling you to go here. Now see,
No worries.
yeah, the question is Bruhi Mangala Muttamang. Bruhi, how I can, achieve what I'm looking for. Bruhi Mangala Muttamang, the last part. Look at the last part of there are four parts in every, everything. See, Bahu Deva Manusacha is first part. Mangalani Achin, I have separated in this manner for me to explain pretty easily. Then, look at the other one, etam mangala muttamang. So, etang, that is how you get the reward. How can I
Mm.
get the reward? That's the question. Now, see, next one is etam mangala muttamang. That is how you get the reward. And you can go on, look at all the things. It's finishing with etam mangala muttamang, etam mangala muttamang. That is what it really means. So, it's a common part, repetitively says Buddha, to encourage the person who is looking for calmness. You're with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go back to just to the first and the second and the third again, because I'm not going to go any more today. So we can go,
Okay.
yeah, because otherwise too much. But it's quite interesting, as you can see. These are
Yeah.
very interesting sutras. So to know the
Very
real meaning.
reasoning.
Huh?
Very reasoning. It's
Yeah,
just
very reasoning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Giving real picture is there. You can see the picture. You can visualize. You can elaborate the way the Buddha is explaining how Buddha is omniscient. No one
yes.
can be like Buddha, because the way Buddha has presented this, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Bahu Deva Manusacha. I have controlled myself so much, Buddha. Bahu. Bahu means a lot. Control. I use enormous amount of uh, energy to control myself, in other words. To become a Manusa, to achieve highest level. Manusa is highest level. Arahant. Or to become, in our terms, to become a person totally calmful, can face any problem totally calmful. I can face anything with calmly. That is what I was trying to achieve. Bahu Deva Manusat. I was trying to control myself. Now, see, when you have to control yourself, you can't sit in a room and close your eyes and do meditation. You can't do that. You have to associate with people and practice to control yourself. Make sense?
Mm.
Which sitting in a room doesn't matter, but I'm not discarding that. But you have to go to the reality. No, that is called bhavana. Bhavana is you have to go out and mix with the people and control yourself. When a person says something to hurt you, you should be able to control yourself. If somebody praise you or blame you, you can control yourself.
yeah.
That is what you have to experience, and you know what do you call, you have to
Ru-
exercise yourself. You have to be skillful. You have to develop your skill to control
yeah.
yourself. That's what Buddha is telling here.
Yeah.
Bahudeva manusacha mangalani achintayum. So that's, I want to go to the eternally blissful, eternally blissful.
Yeah.
So that means that's no limit of that blissfulness. I can take anything without bringing anger into my system. That's what it says. I can take anything from the outside without bring the anger, hatred, conceit into my system. Asevanacha balanam. So it's then akankamana sottana. Here comes the mana to stop me. Thank you. So akankamana sottanam bruhi mangalam uttama. So how can I become a rewarding person? Bruhi mangalam uttama. Specially, special person, well controlled, special person. How can I become a well controlled, with self confidence to control anything? That's the question he asked. So you can repeatedly remember that. In your own words, you can remember. If you can't remember these terms, I mean the Magadhi terms, if you can't, memorize, don't worry. But eventually, as you look at it several times, eventually it will stick to your mind. Bahudeva Manusaja Mangalani Achintay Akankavana Sottanam. Sottana means how to eradicate Sotta. How can I eradicate mana? All right.
Yeah.
Right. Then the next one, quickly on to the next one, number 2. Asevanacha balanang, don't associate with bad thoughts. Thoughts are always bad.
Mm.
Panditanancha sevana, you associate with good concepts, good ideas, which helps you to calm yourself. And while you are doing that, you can feel, now see, which I didn't say, don't go any further, just there. Once you do this, asevanacha balanang panditanang sena, you are not associating with the bad thoughts or the thoughts hurts you. You are associating with concepts, good ideas. Then what you realize is your system is becoming calmful. You can feel it. You can feel the outcome. You can feel the outcome of these practices. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel the outcome of these practices. Then you start respecting yourself. That is puja cha pujaniya. So there is no any other reward that a person can achieve. Etam mangala muttam. So let us go to the last one before we finish here. Last one is for today. Patirupa desa vasocha. We are living in an environment where full of rupa is there,
Mm.
figurines or figures, fake figures, figurines, fake pictures. You can put in that manner. They are bringing us fire, and it makes fireballs in the system internally. So if we touch, we get burnt. We get dukkha or the sufferings.
Mm.
Ubbeta kata punyata, always talk with yourself and discuss and analyze. Ubbeta kata punyata, to bring the calmness to your system. Use your intellectuality when you are discussing with yourself. Atta samma panidita. Atta nivima. It's nivima is atta. Atta means calmness. Samma panidita. It is so pleasing. That panidita means it's so pleasing situation. Samma means totally pleasing, truthfully pleasing, totally truthfully pleasing Samma. There is no any other reward that a person could achieve in this life. Etam Mangalam Uttama. So if you're happy with that, we'll stop there. And okay,
Yeah. Thank you so much for your
that's all
excellent.
right. It's a great pleasure. So if you understood that, please remember, and we'll talk the next 3 verses or 2 verses depending on the situation, because
Mm-hmm.
I want to go slowly until you understand that. We might go
Yeah.
through these 3 again and again. So,
Okay.
okay, then we'll see you tomorrow. All the best. Good
Okay.
night.
All the best. Good night.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.